What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 27 of Tsunami Speaks with your girl, Tsunami Jones. And I have a guest host here, ItalyJet. I went on his show on Monday, had to bring in a heavy hitter for my show today. It's a party. It's a
It's a
party.
party. It's a
Bye
Jets
week.
party.
It's a Jets party, and it's nothing but good vibes in this episode. So get ready for that.
And a
Let's
lot of
start the
caffeine.
show. And a lot of caffeine. Let's go. So again, welcome to Tsunami Speaks with my guest host, Italy Jet. Again, we're doing nothing but good vibes in here. It's the bye week. The Jets are 6-3, second in the division. The Bills are on their heels.
Man,
Josh Allen doesn't look like Superman anymore. The vibes
he's
are
injured.
immaculate.
He's
Yeah,
injured too.
that's what I heard. It looks like the cat may or may not play on Sunday.
I don't know. It's going to
It's
be huge. I mean, the Dolphins and Bills game. It's just going to be. I'm going to be watching so close, so close.
You know who the Dolphins play? I remember looking at
Mm,
the matchup and I completely forgot before I came on
If
here.
my phone will work, I will
I'll
play.
jump ahead of you then and see if I can find it. Let's see.
Hold on.
Uh,
Miami is
Browns.
facing. Oh yeah.
Yuck.
What the what?
Okay.
Oh, what about who the Bills playing?
The Bills play the Vikings. I know that one.
Oh shit, that's gonna be a
Yeah.
good game. They're hot
Revenge
right now.
game. And revenge game for Diggs. So Josh
Sure.
Allen mentioned that he really wanted to play for Stephon Diggs to help him get a
Yeah.
dub. But
Yeah.
Case Keenum, former Viking, might be an
and
interesting little
former
game.
uh and former Bronco, former Brown,
Yep.
former Rams. Like he's been tossed around the league many times.
And he's a good backup. I think he's a good backup
Yeah,
for them.
he
So
was he was really good with the Vikings too
he
for a
was.
bit.
I think the miracle game was with him in it. I believe he
Yes,
was the
ma'am.
quarterback.
Yes,
So
ma'am. It was. Yeah.
we'll see what the Bills are able to do, but we are definitely going to be Vikings fans on Sunday. And I hate
Amen.
the Browns with everything in me, but I guess I'll be rooting for them. I hate that franchise. I'm so glad we won. Anyway, that
Yeah,
said,
they're. Oh yeah.
we're done with the not Jets talk here. Again, it's a party just to celebrate the New York Jets and what we've done. Again, the Jets are 6-3. I do have a question for you, Italy Jets.
Yes.
And
Talk to
I
me.
want to know, what is your
Talk to me.
favorite moment or favorite moments that you've experienced this season from the team? It's been a hell of a season.
I think that we brought Adam Gase back into the franchise. It's one of my favorite moments. He's going to be the
Oh,
future of the Jets for years to come. I'm kidding.
very
No,
much so. I missed the press conference, but I'm sure it was one to behold
I'm kidding.
lately.
Glad he's gone. I my favorite moments, honestly, it's the defense. Honestly, it's the defense has been very good to where I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching Sauce Gardner. I enjoy watching Brees Hall. I'm enjoying watching Reed. I mean, as much as we all didn't all want to join her out, now he's doing good.
Yeah.
And then Whitehead's kind of coming to his own. We still got a little bit of Butterfingers, so hopefully can get that straightened out. But my favorite moments, honestly, is all of our wins that we've had, especially the Bills. I mean, in the Browns. I mean, I was pumped for that game. I don't know if I told you this, T, but I went to a Browns club, the Cleveland Browns have a St. Louis club. So Cleveland
Okay.
Browns, and they meet at a bar, and where my house is, and I went with some family friends, and it was so funny. I walk into the plaza where we're gonna go, and a cook the cook of another restaurant was like, hey, you know the Jets going to lose today, right? And I'm like, okay, when we win today, I'm going to find you, I'm going to hunt you down, and I'm going to give you shit. What did I do? After we won, I hunt him down, and people were just like, "Who the hell is this motherfucker? Like, is he crazy?" But the cook knows what I was talking about. He was laughing. He was looking at me. He's like, "All right, I see you." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you I was gonna come back." So it was really funny. And then, yeah, I would say the defense is number one. The Bills game was really cool, and Browns in Green Bay. Broncos were fun too, but Green Bay, going into Green Bay, that's huge. So
Definitely.
yeah, those are my moments.
I mean, and I'm kind of with you. Damn near every win had a
Yeah,
huge moment because
it's
with the
so
Jets this
big.
season, every win, A, we were an underdog.
Yes, yes,
B, B, and probably the biggest one here is every win kind of cemented us as killing off the same old Jets mantra, if you well, not mantra, but like
yeah.
the whole stigma with that crap, right? The
Amen.
Packers game was definitely one, but my favorite moment of the season so far, and I think it's hard to beat this one, was the stiff arm of Tyreek Hill by my boy Quentin Williams. That was my favorite FM moment. And the play as
Oh
a
man, it was
whole was
so
awesome.
good,
Yep.
so good.
It meant everything.
Oh
First
yeah,
of all, this is the guy who said he didn't want to be a New York Jet.
right.
He's like, "Ooh, the
Taxes,
Jets, the Jets, exact state taxes was a problem." And then just I was and I don't like him anyway for
me
personal
neither.
for
Yeah,
women concerns. I will phrase it like that. But all that being said,
I'm with you.
like, yeah,
I'm
he's
with you
not a
on
good
that.
dude.
He's not a good dude, and everyone
Nah.
defends him like crazy. I had a family friend
Yes.
defended him, Chiefs defended him, and I'm like, you all know what you do? You even know his history? Like his
Right.
history in college, his history in high school, his history with the Chiefs in general. Okay, so you couldn't find evidence. I'm like, that's BS. The NFL, like definitely under the rug that one, in my opinion.
Seriously, they did, and it's because he was on the Chiefs. If he were on any other like will be gone franchise,
Oh
like for
yeah,
example us, if that would have happened when he was a Jet, it would have been a huge
right.
problem and the media would never have let us down, but
Yeah,
whatever, right? But that being said, so the stiff arm to one of the players I hate most in the NFL,
yeah.
hell yeah, I love that crap. Plus that game was fun as hell. The second half, we blew the doors off on them. I don't know. It's hard to beat that for me, except for the Bills win, even though it was different. That game just had a bunch of moments all inside there. Of course, the ending was awesome with Sauce Gardner getting that pass breakup. You gotta love that. I love when Sauce closes games out. All his all there he only has two, I believe, interceptions so far, but I love seeing those two. It's just different. And then, oh, that's right. And in that same Dolphins game, he picked off damn, the backup quarterback, Skyler something, I can't remember, Thompson. He picked him off. That was beautiful. He did he did the deuces right back. I love that. I love that about Sauce. He is a closer, he is a character, but most of all, he's a hell of a damn player. So those are probably my favorite moments. Okay, I got one more. Again, it was a hell of a damn season, so many great moments there. But the comeback against the Steelers was pretty awesome. Even
Yeah.
though I know the Steelers were not a great team, but the momentum in that game, the Steelers had all the momentum going into it. Going into that second half with that kid Kenny Pickett, he's hype. He's running all up in our end zone and stuff, run all up against our defenders, and he's talking smack to our guys. And I was like, okay, we're just gonna let this happen.
And they did.
Yeah, I
I
mean, we
mean, they
picked.
totally let. I mean, the momentum was a big switch.
Yeah,
So like you could definitely tell in that game it was like they have a good defense, but Pickett was on a roll, everything was on a roll, but we hung in there and we got the dub. But overall, I mean, all these games, just like me and you've been talking about, T, they're tough. It's tough to win, especially winning on the road. So it's just gonna be interesting now because you would think our schedule is gonna be um easy, but it's not. It's not going to be easy the
not.
second half. People keep thinking, "Oh, we're going to be all these teams." I'm like, some of these guy teams are doing good right now. Like you just got to catch them at like an off time. NFL is so unpredictable. You every game can come up big.
You're right. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. Like that is such a
Exactly.
big thing that people do not realize the importance of. We're gonna get to the Jets record. I was gonna make that my very last slide because I definitely want to. I know I made my predictions. I want to see what you think of mine,
Yeah,
and see
go
what
for
yours are for sure. Real
for
quick
for what?
for the record,
Oh yeah, yeah.
record for the rest of the season. I got each game listed on there, and I
Dope.
put whether I think we get a dub or L. Spoiler alert: not as many L's as dubs. Sorry. uh,
There you go.
so
I
that
love it. I love it.
all right. So that said, so far again we're halfway point at the season. Who is your offensive MVP? And disclaimer: you can count players that are injured if you would like to.
I'm gonna say Tony Adams. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, oh, yes,
I would.
definitely offensive. Yes.
Right. No, he's
I,
defense. He's defense.
I know. I was rolling with your
Um,
sarcasm. I was with
I
you.
know. I like to throw people off because I gotta get them laughing, man. Um, man, I mean, there's so many, but someone asked me this question on my pod the other day. I think offensive MVP for right now has got to be Sauce. I would say Brees, but he's injured. I would say the
Offensive.
oh, this is
Say sauce
offense.
first. Yes,
Oh
offense,
my
offense,
gosh,
offense.
dude, this is how tired I am.
You're good.
So I think for the offense, I think it's gotta be Michael Carter for me. I Michael Carter has
Mm.
stepped up in big ways. Everyone says he's over. I mean, there's not everyone. Sorry, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the Jets community that think he's overrated, but I think he's actually underrated in my opinion. Carter is a very good leader. He's a very good leader in the running back room. He's a very good leader on the field and off the field. I mean, these guys go to him. I mean, these guys vibe off him. Even Elijah Moore, they're best friends, and we all know about that situation. So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
for me. I think it's Michael Carter. I think he's severely underrated.
Ooh, that is not the answer I expected you to give. So credit to
Oh,
you for
uh,
throwing me off.
oh, who'd you think I
Um,
was gonna do?
I figured you would go for the easy one, which was Brees, even though he's
Nah,
hurt. That's because that's why I gave you the out and said, if
yeah,
you want to go with the injured player, I will do two because I want to give an injured player as well as an not injured player. So I guess I'm cheating a little bit.
yeah, it's cool.
Um, the injured player is going. It's still tough because I think AVT was doing some big things for this team. He was the unsung
Yeah,
hero
exactly.
of our offensive line, and he helped us win some huge games. But I'm going to give it to Brees anyway. Brees was killing guys out there.
Yeah, it
He
worked.
was awesome. And what's so crazy is he said it in one of his post game interviews. I believe it was right
Yeah,
after the Cincinnati game, where he said, I'm starting to get it now. I'm starting to get it. And the next game, I believe, was the Steelers, and he had his first really good game for us. And then he just, you know, um, threw the doors off, so to speak, against the Dolphins, and he had been
right.
killing guys. That Denver Broncos game, I'm not going to say we don't win without him, but that play, that one touchdown, that breakaway touchdown that he made out of nothing, which is why I love Brees so damn much because he's a home run hitter, he's a playmaker, he's everything you want in a I don't know, and your running back and your wide receiver, just in your best offensive player. Um, but so I mean, so of course, I feel like he won us the most games by himself, even though it's very much a team game. Defense has been very huge in all these games, but if I had to put it to one player, it's going to Brees. Other than Brees, I
Okay.
feel like it's hard though because this this offense and the way that we've been, doing it, it's been a lot of by committee, if you will.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
some games it's Garrett Wilson. Next game it's Michael Carter, right? The
True.
game after that, it was Corey Davis. Corey Davis helped us win a couple of games. So I really struggle with this question. So I wanted to go offensive lineman by default and just go like Dwayne Brown, but Dwayne Brown had too many bad games.
Dude, I know, right?
So
What a
yeah,
guy. What a
yeah.
guy.
And playing with an injured shoulder. Like he's not healthy. He's playing hurt. It's just, I mean, he rehabbed it to get it as comfortable as he could, but he's playing hurt. So it's wild that a 38, I think he's 38-year-old offensive lineman is still getting it done like that, even though he's had a couple of not so great games. You might tie those games to Zach. You can kind of look at, when it comes to the sacks and all that, it's twofold. Um, I had an answer a couple of days ago, and now I'm kind of shying away from it.
What's up?
Because it's tough. I'm gonna go with, this is probably recency bias, but I am going with Garrett Wilson.
That's okay.
I
I
think it's
mean,
recency bias because he was so good the last two games.
yeah, I mean he gets open all the time. He's always in clutch. He's always doing the right things at the right time, and it's just him. His chemistry with Zach Wilson is starting to become full life now. So I mean,
Huge.
he's going to be number one eventually, in my opinion. I mean, it's a great pick.
Well, thank you for that. And of course, against the Browns, he
Oh,
killed them
dynamite.
with Flacco, right?
Well, that
So
was his boy. That was his boy in training camp. He threw him
that's
to him a
true.
lot. Threw to him
So
a lot.
they had that chemistry. That's a very
Yeah,
good point.
yeah.
So it was a beautiful thing to see. That's the only thing that kind of, I feel like it did slow down because Zach had to gain that chemistry with him and
True.
get there. But all that said, we have so many great players in the offense that it was tough to choose. And then of course I would have went Corey Davis if he didn't get hurt, because I think he would have had a
Yo,
couple more
actually,
good
yeah,
games.
that was actually gonna be one of mine too. Like,
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
because he was fantastic, and he's getting clutch. Like last year, there were just some balls that he would bat up and cause interceptions. I mean, it was a hands thing, whatever it is. But this time, he was coming down with the football. So in huge moments, and that's Zach's guy. So hard not to go there, but because of the injury the last couple games, I'm going G Dub, and I expect G Dub to go off the rest of the season. All right. So with that said, let's go to defensive MVP. Who you got? And this is hard too because we got a lot of ballers on this team.
Someone asked me this question too, and everyone kept saying sauce, sauce, sauce. But you know what? I'm gonna go a little bit different here, and you're gonna be shocked with this one because I love Michael Carter for the offense, but I'm gonna go with JJ2.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah,
Draws on the floor. Why
I
Jermaine Johnson?
every time he's been in there, he's been clutch for me. I'm a huge fan of him in college. I mean, he is the kind of guy to where if you give him a chance, he is going to capitalize, and he has been. I mean, we could easily say Huff, Quentin Williams, Sauce, Reed, Quan, Mosley, Quincy. I mean, there's a lot to choose from, even Lawson.
There
But you
are.
know what? When times step up, and he takes advantage of his opportunity, and he's a good locker room guy. I love what JJ2's doing. I mean, look at that tackle with Allen on that right that left side. If he didn't tackle, he would have ran that in for a touchdown. Like
Absolutely.
that was a huge people are like, oh, it's just stop. It's like, no. You don't know how huge of a stop that was. That could have changed the game. So he's taking advantage of his opportunities, and that's what I think JJ too. He's been doing it since day one, man. You just got to give him the opportunity.
I agree. He needs to play more snaps for sure. And he's had a couple of clutch plays so far in this season. Um,
And they
and
love him. They love him a
and
lot.
they do. And I do like his character as well. Like when we drafted him and I heard all his interviews, I listened to that crap because
Oh,
I
me
guess I'm a
too.
sucker. It's
Hey,
fun and I love that stuff. It's
me
just
too.
that kid gets it.
I
And
know,
you
right?
knew when we drafted him, like, oh, okay, he's good for New York. You could tell who's not going to be necessarily a good fit for our media market. Jermaine Johnson, I have
Yeah,
no worries at all. He's
me
perfect.
too. Him and
And he,
Clemens. Jeez, the dude's like, I don't know. I don't know if he was raised on a farm or
yeah, I think
what.
so.
He's a different breed, man. He's a different breed. I don't think he grew up in the suburbs. I don't think he grew up in the ghetto. I don't think he grew up in the country. Honestly, I think he came from the universe because that dude, I have never seen a guy like Clemens before. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
his interviews, and when he got drafted, he was just in a freaking bed in the bedroom, just no one
Yup.
around. It's like I think if someone put all these pieces together to make Clemens just make him like it's insane.
I love Clemens. I can't wait till we can get him more snaps too. That's why that Jacob Martin trade was so perfect.
I agree.
And I'm
Yeah.
glad that Jacob Martin was happy too. Like he was thankful for the opportunity. He got to keep his monies. Good for him on that. But now we have more snaps for Jermaine Johnson, more snaps for Bryce Huff, who's been balling
Yes.
out,
And
and
Clemens
and
and Vinny
Clemens.
Curry too. Like out of all
Yeah,
people,
that's a good point. I forget. It's easy to forget about Vinny Curry.
it is.
Um, let's see. I'm gonna answer this really fast. I'm not gonna go Sauce. As great as Sauce has been, and it's hard
Yes.
not to go Sauce. I'm still giving it to Quinnen. Quinnen
Yeah.
has been balling out from day one. With
Yes.
the pressure he puts on the quarterback, even if it doesn't result in a sack, is huge. He's defensive tackle. They're taking at least two blocks. They're double teaming him constantly. So he's
Yeah.
making those
Agreed.
those
Agreed.
lanes for your Bryce Huff and your Carl Lawson to get by because they got to take care of Quinnen. And then Quinnen's game against the Packers. What? What?
Exactly. Yeah. Like he's just been super clutch all the time.
And he was so awesome in that game.
It's
That
like
game.
it's about
Oh,
time. It's about time he's been like
it's
this.
true. It's true.
Like where's he been? And finally showing up because he wants his damn paycheck, and I'm with it.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, they did say coming into the off season he lost some weight, so that helped. So he got with a trainer and all that, one of our on staff trainers, and I think he finally got a scheme that utilizes him better. Um, not that shoot, now I can't remember the dude who used to be the defensive coordinator for the Saints. It's Greg
Oh, Greg
something.
Williams.
Thank you. I should I should have remembered.
Yeah,
Yes, Greg
I knew
Williams.
him. I knew him personally too.
Oh,
He's good. He's a good coach. It's just with the reputation that he's had, it's just interesting. But
yeah.
and Gase didn't even want him, which
Nope.
is really funny too.
They
Like I'm
forced him on him, which is why you
yeah.
knew that was going to be a rough tenure for them both.
Hmm.
You can't put coaches that hate each other on the same damn team. Who does that? Um, but yeah, I just don't think that he was able to unlock Quinnen. And maybe Quinnen wasn't ready. I don't know. All those things, but I love the Quinnen I'm seeing this year. He's getting more and more snaps. I know earlier on in the season we were worried because we were like, dude's only getting 50%. Well, not 50. He was getting like 61, 62% of the snaps. We wanted to see him more. He's balling out now and getting more snaps. I love it. I cannot wait to see what he gets to do when he starts playing these teams that we have upcoming because we have some teams that don't have awesome offensive lines and Quinnen's already unblockable. So what does that equal? That equals a huge game for Quinnen. Um, especially against this Patriots matchup coming up, but I won't get stuck there because I will talk about that matchup for all next week. I don't want to talk about that yet. I just want to revel in the Bills win right now. So I do have a few numbers for you here because I am a numbers gal and I want to hear your thoughts in general. So here's one slide. It's probably not the easiest to read, so I'll just kind of read this for you here. The Jets are, I forgot that it was this far down. I think it was the 24th team or 23rd in offense and yards per game. And I wanted to know what were your thoughts about the offense in general? I know we talked about who our offensive MVPs were, but what are your thoughts about the offense and what do you think is going to happen in the second half of the season? So if you want to throw a grenade at Zach, you can go ahead.
I think everyone's is just expecting that. How do I put this? I think people are expecting like the offense to do well, to do it to be better than last year.
Yeah.
See, this one's tough because Zach Wilson, he's only played a year and a few games. He's been injured twice, and the old line hasn't really been that perfect. So, like, I get that, but we're ready to win now. Like we're a playoff team now. Like there's no doubt in my mind that we're a playoff team. Like these guys are ready to win now. And I think for me, I mean, and that's why you went to go get James Robinson.
Yes.
So it's one of those things for me is I feel like the offense is behind. I feel like the defense are at their peak. I feel like the special teams are at their peak. But overall, the offense, they're just having a tough time getting people in, having a tough time trying to get them going. We've seen some good stuff from the offense. We've seen some really bad stuff from the offense. We see some good things about Zach, some bad things about Zach, but he's not that same guy that he was the last 6 games of the season last year. He was balling out. I got truly excited for what happened with him last year. Not in the beginning because he's a rookie. You can't really blame him for that. But the last 6 games, I was like, oh my gosh, if he can just carry this over to the season, like next season, like that's phenomenal. He did all the right things, but I think I'm just disappointed in the offense overall, to be honest, because we're not getting really the tight ends involved much, and we paid a lot of money for those two. So it's one of those things for me. I think I want to see more, but I like LaFleur's scheme when it comes to matching up um, the defense's weaknesses, like running the ball a lot. Like we've been running the ball a lot. I still think he's a very good coach, and I love Mike LaFleur. But I'm for me, I want to see it spread out more. I want everyone to get involved. I mean, you're gonna pay all these people a bunch of money and just focus on one tactic. That's not gonna like it's not gonna fly in the NFL. But we're getting our injuries guys back, which is nice. Getting Corey back, we're getting Mitchell back, we're getting Fant back, but where do you put them? What are you going to do? So overall, I just want to see some stuff better from the offense. What was your other question?
Uh, and I said if you wanted to throw a grenade at Zach, you could, but
Right.
you talked about him, so you're good.
Yeah. But that's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, so we're averaging 335 yards per game
Right.
total offense. So that's with our passing offense being very hit or miss. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Most of our damage is coming from our rush yards because we are
Exactly.
freaking killing it. Um, rushing the ball. I think it's sorry, I'm sorry that is so small. Even I'm having difficulty reading it. I think it's 116
Yeah.
yards a game rushing.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and that sounds about right. For the most part. I will say this. I will use those same some of those excuses that you used because they're true.
I
Our
mean it.
offensive
Yeah.
line has been in shambles,
Yeah.
like awful in certain, and especially in certain games. Like I still want to give Zach credit for that Steelers game because Zach did run around quite a bit in that game, but it was by default. He couldn't step up in the pocket. They were after him. I think
Hmm.
it was some inordinate amount of pressures, like 19 or 20 pressures in that game specifically. And they didn't even have TJ Watt. Thankful that he wasn't there in
Oh
that
my god,
game.
how huge is that? Like we
Dude,
have been very like lucky with
in that,
some of
yep.
these injuries on these
Yeah.
teams and the lack of chemistry and them starting out with each other before the bye, like the Green Bay Packers and
Yeah.
the Browns and the Broncos. It's just in the Bills. I mean, we hit these teams at the right time.
Perfect time.
Right
I
time.
agree. Yep, yep. I totally agree there. It's saved us a little bit, which is why we have some fans that said that we're fraudulent 6-3, but we 6-3 though. So feel how you feel,
Exactly.
but we got those W's. But to that point, um, so that was one game with for Zach that I was still pretty happy with. The Denver and the Green Bay games, I still maintain those teams have very, very, very good pass defenses. And you've seen what has happened to the games to the teams that they've played since then. Even with except for the Packers game like last week, like the week before last when they played the Bills, even the Bills couldn't really put them away. And the Packers have no one to throw to, at this point. You can put some of that on Aaron Rodgers, you can put some of that on their wide receiving core. They don't have any game breaking speed guys, and they need that at least. Romeo Dobbs is the closest they have to that. So anyway, so I stand by my my Zach apologistness, so to speak. But I think, and I see your point as far as Zach hadn't looked like last 6 games of last season Zach, except for last week and the Dolphins game. I maintain he looked very good in both those games.
Eh,
Especially last week because he was getting rid of the ball. He looked really good last week, as far as I'm concerned. If he hits Mims in that first thing, I mean, he has 300 yards. But that's neither here. I know there's always an if, and if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I know all of that. But I'm pleased with that, and I'm excited
okay.
now that Zach has gotten his chemistry resolved with Garrett, and B, he's gonna get Corey Davis back. Him and Mims are starting to get on one page finally, right? And now we're moving more to the slot. I hope that we look better, but not only that, we're finally going to start playing some teams that don't have top five defenses in the
Oh,
last
I
8 games
know.
of the season. So I think once we start seeing him play against those kind of defenses, Jets
Yeah.
fans are going to be happy with what we get out of the offense. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like those teams that are coming up, they're still good teams, but
They
they
are.
can they can hang with you, but they're not going to be like, I mean, I would say the biggest teams that we're facing against, honestly, coming up is really the Vikings, Bills, and Miami and Patriots. I mean, all of our division and the Vikings. I'm not really scared of the Bears. I'm only scared of the Lions. And we got Jacksonville at prime time. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not really scared of those teams. I'm just only scared about those up four because not only this is a dogfight for our division, but it's so close.
Yeah.
It's just if we can beat the Bills one more time, I mean, shoot, I'd rather take that than beating the Dolphins and Patriots. If we can just beat the Bills one more time.
I feel that and I agree, but I'm greedy. I need us to beat the Patriots next
What
week too
I
for
got history
pride.
with the Patriots, so I totally understand that.
Yeah, and I also got some money on
Oh,
DraftKings
girl, T
too.
speaks, man.
I gotta
Oh,
gamble. It's fun. But
I
no, I
know it
thought
is.
it was a fun little bet that I found. It was the Jets will win at least one game against each team in the division.
Oh,
And it was
that's a
like
good
plus
bet.
500. I'm like, "Oh, I'll put $20 on that." And so I did. That's all. I don't put inordinate amounts of money.
Hey, you do
Um
you, T. You do you.
it's fun. It makes every Sunday worth drinking too. Anyway, so we'll go to so for our next slide. I'm gonna go to ESPN one more time and look at these defensive stats here. I
You're
got to.
crazy. You're
Um,
crazy. I love it. I love it.
so for this one, I want to know what your thoughts and your impressions are like with the Jets defense, A as a whole, but B, considering we are the one, two, three, four, five,
Yeah.
six, seven, eighth, I think, if I counted that correctly, the eighth defensive team in the league as far as yards per game as a whole.
We're seven.
Seven. Okay, you counted better. I was struggling.
Wait,
Seven
one,
sounds
two,
right.
three. Seven. Yeah, I'm surprised we're
Okay.
that low. I thought we would be top three, in my opinion. Top three, top five at least. I'm shocked we're at seven. Still really good, and I'm not complaining about that, but I expect this to be much more up there, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Packers are right above us with three more or three extra yards.
Hmm.
So that's what kills us. I kind of think about what happened in the early part of the season when
Yeah, you
that's
can't.
what hurt
Yeah,
us.
yeah. The Ravens game hurt us so bad.
Cincy,
Yeah.
those two, and even the Browns. Brissett got a lot of yards in that game against us.
Hey,
So those first three,
Brissett's no joke. I mean, people sleep on him, and I always said, man, when it was the Colts, man, he was balling a little bit.
and he played well for the Patriots as well. You just need a coach to put you in the right position. I think Stefanski's a pretty solid coach. So I mean, that's why the we ended up winning that game. But that game, there's a reason why it was as close as it was. Brissett balled out, and we didn't have today's Sauce Gardner and today's Quentin Williams yet. Um,
Yeah,
so
I
yeah,
agree
so
with you 100%.
that's like one thing that I thought was pretty interesting. But I'm proud. I want to at least kind of look at it from a holistic view. Last year we were
Okay.
32nd in the NFL.
Ooh,
32nd in
that
the
last place.
NFL.
Whoosh.
Like we were so bad. And we're already 9 games in, and we're a top 10 defense, and I believe we'll be top 5 in total yards before this season ends. And I think that's so effing awesome. And that's a testament to our coaching. It's a testament to Ulbrich, and it's also a testament to gotta give this guy his flowers. Joe Douglas, he brought in the guys we needed. Salah say, yo, we can't make this happen with these with uh
True. Very
with
true.
Bryce Hall and Brandon Eccles, who I still like and I still respect those guys.
Yeah, me too.
But that said, he's like, I need better. He said, go get me a new corner. He said, I'll get you DJ Reed. Then he said, I think I need one more really good cover corner who could be a playmaker for us. So like he said, all right, I'm gonna get you Sauce Gardner. I need a playmaker on offense. I need at least two. He brings in Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson. Even though I'm totally veering off to offense, but you get the point. Joe Douglas, man. Joe Douglas, he made things happen. One more slide about the defense. I think you'll like this one better. I know you're not a big PFF guy, but
I'm
I'm
not,
paying
but I
for it, so
mean
I'm gonna use it.
they're out there. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So overall, the Jets have the best PFF score in the entire NFL for defense. Defense, and I thought that was pretty effing cool. So we're 85.1. They can be pretty hard on us specifically. So the fact that they have us number one in the NFL, I thought was pretty jaw dropping. They got Broncos 2, Rams 3. Weird. But well, I can't say weird
I mean,
because their
Broncos
record
always
has
had a
been
good
bad.
defense, but it's because of Chubb. I mean, he's gone now, so they got Martin, but like it's not the same for them. But I'm not surprised that the Rams are there. Well, actually, I think the Rams should. I think they should switch the Eagles and Rams, in my
I
opinion.
yes, yes,
But
yes.
Tennessee's always got a good defense. You always got to watch
Mhm.
out for Tennessee and San Francisco's defense. Vikings, that's accurate. Cowboys, I'm surprised Cowboys aren't a little bit more up there. But
Niners are high.
Colts have always been very good. Like their defense has always been solid. Bills, I'm surprised that's not up a little bit more. But I think these are actually, even how much I hate PFF, but I think this is solid.
All right. I think it's a good top 10. I kind of feel you as far as like changing maybe the order a little bit. And I at first reason I said weird was the Rams, but I had to take a step back and remember they actually, just because they've been losing games, the Rams haven't necessarily been getting blown out. They actually have been playing fairly well on that aspect. I just would have the Eagles a bit higher
Yeah, I
because
mean
I
they
think the
always got a
Eagles
good
defense is
defense,
great.
but their offense is not that great. I mean Stafford's still dealing with his issues, so
Yep, yep, and putting the defense in awful positions. But
true.
that's also Stafford. I feel bad for Stafford because their offensive line is worse than ours, and I didn't think that was possible. It's really effing bad.
It's
Like
bad.
when Note Boom went down, I'm like, oh, you're screwed because we got the last backup left tackle that was available. So I was like, I don't know who you gonna get. It's too late. I'm sure they went to Arby's and picked one up. Like it was, because that's what it looks like.
Or they go to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they still getting burnt
They,
like their
they they
wings.
couldn't even get a farmer out there to do their job.
Not at all.
Friday
But
Night Lights.
all that said, so just so like I said, 32nd overall to, if you, I don't know what PFF had us at last year. I could probably find that out. I'm not gonna do that now, but I'm sure they had us bottom 5 of the
Oh
NFL.
yeah,
So I'm just so proud. We have so
me
many
too.
awesome players. You basically mentioned almost every defensive player that we have on the team, and yet there's still some left that are also still making plays every single week. Even though I'm not a big
It's
Solomon Thomas
so
person
solid.
because it seems like he's not necessarily making impact plays, or Nathan Shepard is not necessarily making impact plays, but they're
Hmm.
contributors on the team.
Thomas, I can agree with you with Thomas a little bit, but you know what? I think Shepard. I mean, I've been hard on Shepard. Like I've been super hard on Shepard, and you know what? I think he's actually coming into his own. I'm
You
not
think
gonna lie
so?
to you. I think Shepard's come a long way, and I think he's doing a lot better now. But everyone keeps saying, "Oh, this is not bad that Rankins is gone." Like Thomas was something. I'm like, I don't know. I think the Rankins thing was more of an issue than
No,
people
you're right.
should think. Rankins was like him and Quinn and JFM, they were in a groove. I mean, he got three tackles in the last 2 or 3 games. I mean, he's been cranking. So I think it's going to be bigger than we think. Hopefully, Thomas and Shepard and JFM can hold down the fort, or we go pick up Joseph off waivers or something, or Tilly. But we have to make a lot of cap room for those guys. So I think they might just bring in Smart and Marshall. And I'm okay with
Mhm.
that.
I'm curious to see how they look. They played well in the preseason. I remember
Hmm.
JFM liked the tweet
Yes.
talking about both of them, saying he would
Yes.
like them to
Yes.
play. I'm like, well, if he's doing that, I mean, that maybe the team feels the exact way, because
They should. They balled out in preseason.
they really did. I don't even know which one was better. I was trying to like stretch my brain to remember. I think they
I think
both had
Smart. I think Smart was better in my opinion.
smart. Okay.
That's just me though.
No, you're probably right. I don't remember. And I watched the preseason games because I was being
Yeah, me
laughed at,
too.
but I was gambling on them, and we won every game, and
Oh,
they helped
T, we're
me.
gonna have
Let's go Jets!
intervention for you in the next couple weeks.
Nah, nah, nah. I
Nah,
stopped bet.
nah, nah. Oh,
Nah,
nah, nah, nah.
nah, not yet, not yet, not yet. Now, if I keep betting on the Knicks, then
No,
then
oh
that's
my
when you
God. Oh
do an
yeah, don't do
intervention.
that.
I didn't do it tonight, and we won. So I think there's a correlation.
Are
So
you the problem, T?
it's
You the problem?
me. I won't bet again. I will not bet again on them anyway. Maybe I'll bet the other
Hey,
way.
up to
We'll
you.
see.
You do you speaks.
All right, and here's my last slide. And we can talk about whatever you want to talk about after this.
You're
This
good.
is the Jets schedule for the second half of the season.
Wow.
So
Is this
those
you?
little W's.
Is this you?
This is what I predicted
Okay.
for the Jets. I predict we're
Okay.
going to beat the Patriots because we are salty still. And not
Yeah.
just as a fan base, the players. When you hear these interviews, like Sauce said it took him a few days to get over the loss to the Patriots. He
Yeah.
DJ Reed still talking about the game now. I'm like, okay,
Oh, they're ready.
okay.
Dude, I'm going to my mom and dad's house and I'm gonna be yelling my crap off. Like I hate them so much. So much. There's teams in your top 5 or top 10 that just people hate and rivalries and just people in general. Patriots have got to be at least number 1, number 2. Like going for you though. I like what you have right here. I think this is very accurate, but I would switch up the Seahawks in Miami. I think we're gonna lose against Miami, and I think and I think we will win against Geno Smith. Seahawks are very good right now. They're on a roll. I mean, their running back is insane. Their corner is insane. Geno's doing good, but I really do think that if they are consistent, Miami's consistent with Tua and Hill and everybody else, I could see that as a loss. And you're looking at me weird, so you must think I'm crazy.
No, it's funny. I had it the other way and I switched it recently. So I'm
Really?
laughing because that's where I went.
Yeah. But
Um
I agree with this though. This is actually the way I had it.
this the
I
number that's 10 and 7 is inaccurate. That's how I told you I made my switch late. It's actually that would be 11 and 6. Or yes, 11 and 6. Jesus, I couldn't math for a second. Yeah,
it's
sorry.
cool.
Carry on.
It's cool. No, I agree with this. Except I would flip the Seahawks and Dolphins. I really do think we're going to try and give our revenge against Geno and Adams. I think that's going to be like a booster for us. But Miami's doing well right now. I think we will split against Miami. Well, just like we're going to split against the Bills and Patriots. I really do think that's going to happen. But Jacksonville, whatever. Lions, whatever. Bears.
Right.
Bears and Vikings are going to be the only teams that's going to come down to the wire because
I agree.
Bears have been kick Patriots butt, and they're just that team that just always stays there until the end. And now they got Claypool. Imagine if they get him going. Whew, it's gonna be interesting. And then you got the Vikings. Vikings. I've always said this since I was 9 years old. Didn't matter if they had Favre. Didn't matter if they had Bridgewater. Vikings always seem to come back. You can never bet against this team. This team fights until the very end, and you're either going to lose to them or you're going to win against them, or you're going to tie with them and go to overtime
I
because the
I
Vikings,
could see it.
because Vikings are just that team that people sleep on because they got Kirk Cousins, but they love Kirk Cousins. They are rallying around him. I mean, he's doing all this,
Yeah.
video of like,
I saw it.
I
I
mean,
saw it.
man, I mean, shoot, they gotta love him over there. I just think they're just he's like a Zach Wilson. You would compare Zach Wilson to Kirk Cousins. He's not a great quarterback. He's not the worst quarterback, but he gets the job done. He gets the job done. And I mean, it helps to have Thielen and Jefferson and Cook. I mean, it's nice to have those kind of guys. But Bills, yeah, I think the Bills are okay. Here's the thing: if Allen is out for a significant time, then I can honestly see us winning this game. But if Allen's back, I think it's going to be a revenge game for
I think
sure.
so too.
Lions, ugh, yeah, I mean they're the type of team that hangs on there too, but they have been losing a lot lately, and they have a lot of injuries on offense. Holy cow, do they have a lot of injuries? I mean, their Swift is going to be out again. Goff is having issues. It's just going to be interesting. Jaguars, I mean, they play okay. I mean, they'll hang in there, but we could still beat their butts. I don't know why, but I just feel like I don't know why the Seahawks. Are we at the Seahawks? Yeah, we're at the
We
Seahawks.
are at the Seahawks. That's why I went L. That's why I went L.
Seahawks
We
have
do have a
one.
long time before we go to that game. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh
Just wanted
no,
to let you know that it's a Thursday game the week before,
right.
and then the following week we got that Sunday, so we get that little 10-day break, which is nice.
I think the thing is with the Seahawks is it's just going to be on where they're at, but also it's so hard to go into the Seahawks and win. I mean, I remember working for the Rams, and my dad will come home, be doing the video guy for me, and be like, "It's just so tough to win there." I mean, their fans just go all day long. It's like you're in a soccer stadium. It's just they have those loyal fan base, and they're always constantly loud. But Miami, though, I mean, they're going to be in Florida. I really do think we're going to lose that game. I think we're going to split them. But this is good. I like where you're at. Um, it's 17 games or 18 games.
It's 17. That's why I
Okay,
said my number was off.
because they added one, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Mm, yeah, I would say that. I would say this is a good record. I mean, it's not going to be bad. We're not going to be perfect every week. People think we're going to
No.
just keep winning and winning, winning. I mean, but I'm like, we're the Jets. Life's going to catch up with us after a while. Let's be honest. So
Yeah.
it sucks, but like, even though, because here's the thing, T. I don't mean you talked about on the show on the show's pod with me and show, and also on mine. Like everyone keeps thinking that we would beat all these teams, but it comes down to who's hot at the right time. Just
Yeah.
like you said with the Seahawks, it's always at the end of the season. You never know. Some of these teams could be dying off, and we can get in there and be like, "Hey, you're not doing good. We're gonna kick your butt." Or, "Hey, oh my gosh, they're doing great." And any flag, any call, any injury, anything could happen. So it's always who's hot and who's not. But I agree with this. This is good.
Well, thank you, thank you. Yeah, just gonna go through everything really fast. Patriots dub. I think that Bears game, and that was a game I was contemplating going to.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see
Wait,
if I'm
wait,
able to.
wait. Go to. There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Nice.
That's gonna be a hell of a drive up there. Weather's a concern. If I
Yeah.
do go, it's like it's for my birthday. It's like me celebrating my birthday, and the Jets better damn well win. That's not my actual birthday. It's on Thanksgiving, but so that's a game. But I'm saying all that to say, I think the Jets match up with the Bears very well. I like our defense. Now the rankings. So actually, let me back up to what you were saying about the rankings before. I think Rankins getting hurt at this time hurts us because we're playing two
100%.
teams that run the hell out of the ball. And we need
Exactly.
someone with his defensive savvy, with his just veteran
100%.
leadership, and then just good
100%.
against the run too. He's better against the pass, but he's still good against the run. And I don't like that he's hurt for these two games. If it happened versus the Vikings and down, I would be less worried. But we'll see what ends up happening there. That said, even with that injury, I still think I like. Well, I don't think I feel really good about the Patriots game for the reasons I told you earlier. The Bears, I still feel good about it because eventually Justin Fields is going to have to throw the ball. And when he does, we're going to pick him off. I just
And
it's what I see.
and that's a good point that you bring up because he can only run for so long because he's going to be a runner. He's going to exhaust us.
Yeah,
But but we can get after their O line. Their O line sucks. I mean, it's
exactly.
so bad. But the only thing that sucks against this is kind of like what Lamar Jackson, what we went through with game one, is he's a
Yeah.
runner. I mean, he runs the living crap out of you, but he does give up some interceptions. And the only thing that sucks is because he's got Kmet now. He's got Mooney. He's got Claypool. He's got
Yeah,
Cohen. He's got Montgomery. I mean, he's got some good weapons. It's just his O line can't do anything right. So you're right. Once he gets an interception, it's going to go down for sure.
exactly. And the best part about this is one of the games I have circled on my I love Zach Wilson calendar. And it says that on there. And it says on there, this is a game for him.
Which
Because it
game?
is.
Which
Because
game?
they don't have a defense now.
Yeah, sure.
He
Yeah,
better
Quinn,
see
Rob
him go
Smith. Yeah,
off.
yeah.
They traded both of those playmakers off the team. Sorry to disappear off the screen, but if my laptop dies while I'm recording, I don't think people will like the show as much. Sorry about that. But
You're
anyway,
good.
um yeah, so I expect him to have a really good game here. I can easily see Zach getting a 300-yard game here. Or if he doesn't do that, I think he throws for a couple of touchdowns. Maybe he runs a touchdown in himself. That kind of game. I can't wait to see it. That's why I circled. It's circled on the calendar and it's circled on my financial calendar of can you find the money? Because you need to go see that game. Um, because that's gonna be a hell of a game. But we'll see what the weather looks like too. So there's that.
Yeah.
The Vikings game, I just think because I don't think they're going to flex the game for us to watch. I kind of
Yeah.
analyzed it and they won't. I just don't see it. But if
Yeah,
they
me
do
too.
flex that to a primetime game, I'm changing that to a dub. Okay. I will
Really?
completely, yeah, because Kirk Cousins doesn't play well at night. Or it's
Yeah.
something about that 8 o'clock. I don't know. Someone told me he has. Oh my god, I forgot who it was.
Yeah,
Someone told me he has the eye problem.
he has a nighttime routine and he's got eye issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So once I heard that, I'm like, okay, that further confirms why
Yeah.
we've been seeing it. Those of us that gamble, like we see this occurrence, this trend, and we bet against it. And generally speaking, it works. The only one that didn't work was the primetime UK game, but it makes sense because it was technically early there. So anyway, moving on. So I that's gonna be a tough game. Justin Jefferson is gonna be a hell of a assignment for Sauce. I'm not saying he can't. He's been very good against many wide receivers, but this is a guy that's speedy. I want to see what Sauce can do against Justin Jefferson. He's gonna be a tough cover.
Yeah, it's going to be
Um,
unbelievable.
I'm excited to watch that game. That's just gonna be one of those games where you're just like, anyone can win this game. Will the Jets be that team? I'm sure that they will have the odds on the Vikings for sure.
I almost became a Vikings fan.
Huh.
I don't tell people this, but like I I I I love what the Rams did, greatest show on turf and stuff, but back in the
Mhm.
day. But man, I actually picked between four teams that was going to be my favorite teams. It was either going to be Miami, Bills, Jets, or Vikings. It was down those four teams, and
How did we
honestly,
make the cut?
I honestly I blame my dad, and my dad can even admit to it because he gave me all kinds of McFarlane figures. Yeah, I always used them all the time in video games, and all my favorite players are just on there. So, and I'm from St. Louis, and it doesn't even sound right, but but hey, it's cool. Hey, you're in where are you at again? Virginia?
Virginia. Yep.
See, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, pops, dad. If you're watching this show right now, you're not because you're probably
Yeah,
still working. But
right.
when you're off the show and you watch it later, it's your fault.
Yeah,
It's
go
your
for it.
fault.
Go for it.
Uh, that said, I agree with you. The Bills gonna. I'm not gonna say they're gonna beat us down, but that's gonna be a
No,
tough
that's
game.
that's gonna be a revenge game.
Maybe if it snows, it'll slow the score down, and it'll just be an even more scary game for us as Jets fans. And it's like 13-10,
Then I get
maybe.
worried about injuries.
Also, Josh Allen plays really good in the snow. I'm not gonna worry about it anyway. So I
Yeah,
think that's a L. But that's okay. We can lose a couple of games here. So I'm saying Vikings L, Bills L, Detroit Lions. That's gonna be a high scoring game for both teams. Because well, I can't. Our defense is that good though.
yeah, I
Okay,
know.
high scoring game for the New York Jets, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions do more damage than we expect. That's not a team that lays down. They fight the entire game. So they could be down 20 points in the fourth quarter. They're gonna fight it down and try and get it down to like at least 10, because that's why people like gambling them, because they are great against the spread. They always cover. So I still think we win. I think it might scare some fans, but I think that's gonna be another good Zach game that you can mark on your calendar, on the I love Zach Wilson calendar. Mark that one down. That's gonna be a game where he can do some damage. Jacksonville, same thing. I expect another good Zach Wilson game there. Also, but the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is better than it was before. They're much better this year, just defensively. Offense,
Oh yeah,
because Trevor Lawrence has been hit or miss, and against our defense, it's going to be miss.
they
That's
got a
not
good
me
running
like
game.
killing
That's
them.
it.
They
Their
do,
running game's got a good running game.
but ETN is another one of those backs though that will fumble at crazy times.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, the Jets like to not necessarily fall on these fumbles, but I'm gonna need him to start falling on these fumbles so we can recover them. That's gonna be a game where he'll call for at least one up. I would put if that was something you could gamble on, I'll bet that. All right, Seahawks. Like I said, like you were saying, I'm with you, man. I think this is gonna be a tough game. We're playing Seattle in Seattle. Geno Smith has been very good this year. I think he's going to play with a chip. He's had a chip all year, but I think he's gonna have another chip because there's just I feel like there were three games that were circled on his calendar. I think the Broncos were one, the Giants were one, we're one, and I'm missing another one. I don't remember who it was, but I don't care that much about Seattle. But you get the point. Like he's been very very pointed and very he's been working really hard against these teams. And like you mentioned, Walker has been their Brees Hall. I won't call he's not as good as our Brees was, but he's not too far away. He is a game changer for them.
And then their cornerback too is their
Woolen.
Warren. Well, and
Mhm.
he has been like their sauce. I mean, it's
Yep.
he is just he's up there too in the PPFF rankings too, and
He is.
it's going to be very interesting. Like just like you said with Gino, because I think he's got this March on his calendar. I
Yep.
mean, well, why couldn't you? You know, like he's been through a lot here, and
Yes.
so is Adams. So it's gonna be. I'm gonna be honest. I think every single team that I'm looking not looking forward to playing has got to be the Patriots and Seahawks because I just don't. I just always a pit in my stomach every time they come and do something. But Miami, I'm like, man, I just want to kill them. You know, it's like
Right. Right.
that's it.
I think that Miami game, because one of my thoughts were, okay, are we going to be playing for the division in that game? Yes or no? I'm saying we're probably are.
I agree.
That's the thing because the division is this close right now. The Jets have the edge because of our win against them.
I agree. I
Um,
agree a lot.
and with Josh Allen's injury, like we were discussing earlier, that's going to make it even
Yeah,
tougher. So all that being said, I think the Jets are going to have to try to win this game if we want to win the division, and it seems like that's what Salah's focus has been all season. That's what he's talked about. Talked about it in one Jets drive and all that stuff. So
correct.
I think we win it. I think we win it. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I could easily see us lose it, but gun to my head, I think the Jets eke the game out against the Dolphins. And here's the thing, like I'll just say it. Tua is going to want to throw to Waddle. and he's going to want to throw to Tyreek Hill. Those two, or especially Hill's going to demand the ball. If Sauce can, I could just see if you throw the ball to him, Sauce is going to be able to read it. I'm not saying he's going to continuously keep getting a pick every game. That's not going to happen. But I don't think Tua is going to be one of those people who are afraid to throw to Sauce's side, and Sauce is going to make you pay. And so that's my read on all of those games. My lips to God's ears. I would love for the Jets to be 11-6. That would be pretty effing awesome for
Yeah,
this
I agree
team
with that.
after being, were we 4-13 last year?
Something like that. I don't want to remember either.
Okay, then I won't look it up. I won't look it up. It was
Nah,
either
you can
four and
look it
thirteen
up.
or
I'm
five.
curious. I'm curious actually. Yeah, look it up.
Real quick. 4-13. That's right.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep, it was rough. It was a rough season, but we as Jets fans deserve the season that we're getting in 2022, and we're gonna be. It looks pretty obvious we're gonna be playoff bound. How exciting is that?
First time in
Since 2011.
Rex Ryan days. Yeah,
Mhm.
we had a good team back then too.
Yep. And this is the same formula. Essentially, we're using the same formula now that they were using back then. All-star smash mouth defense, fantastic running game, and an offense that can score when they need it to. That's a formula for greatness. If we can just I mean, we can beat some teams. I mean, I already looked ahead to kind of scout what teams we might be playing. Tennessee's one, the Ravens is another team, and the Bengals. Those are the three teams that were most likely to play if things stay the same. If that's the case, I like our chances against Tennessee for sure. Against the Bengals, I know some people are scared of them. I am not. We
Yeah, I'm
lost to
not
them
either.
once. They didn't see us at our best. It's a
No,
different team right now.
we just they hit us at the wrong time. That's all.
Exactly.
Like I
Exactly.
said, it's all about timing and chemistry and where you're traveling, injuries. It's everything plays into effect in the NFL. Every little thing.
Absolutely. But that is essentially all I had as far as slides. Did you have any questions that you would like to ask, since I don't have very many people commenting today, and that's fine. I think most of my Knicks fans might be mad at me for going live and not talking Knicks. I'm sorry. I will go live tomorrow to talk Knicks.
um, I think overall, my question is for you is how my last question is: Do you think do you think the coaching staff has in the players overall, JD, everything that's going on right now? So I know a lot of Jets fans are always conflicted. I mean, Jets community can be very toxic, and it can be very amazing. It's a mixture of both. And I'm sorry, everyone. I said it. I said it. You can come after me. I don't care. A lot of people would agree with me. Um,
Hmm.
I think. Do you think the coaching staff and the players have done everything right to where we should have faith for the first
Ooh,
time since Rex Ryan days? Does this convince the Jets fans?
that is a tough question.
It's
Oh
a
my
very
God.
tough question, but it's a necessary question because it's the bye week.
Yeah, well, this is the time to ask it. Have they convinced? Okay, I could say whether they convinced me versus other Jets fans, but I am an optimistic, positive Jets fan, one of very few, and that's okay.
That's
Um,
okay.
I am convinced because I've seen us against all odds already in a few games. I have seen games where the Jets notoriously over the years would have laid down and stayed down. That Browns game was won. That game was lost. And we still fought. Now, yeah, we had a few I don't even want to call them lucky plays because to me, the onside kick, yeah, you might call that lucky, but we still went down the field and scored a damn touchdown.
Yes.
We did.
Yes.
Um, and our special teams played lights out in that game. The Packers game, we was very nip and tuck for a long time, and then we put our foot on their damn neck and we scored. Um,
True that.
against the Bills, there was a time in that game where I know there were Jets fans. I'll throw me in there. I was nervous too. I'm optimistic on the days that the hours before the game and the hours after the game. I'm not optimistic during the game. It's different. It's different in during the game.
Hey
I'm
man,
very
hey,
negative.
hey, I get it. I get it.
Sometimes I have to hold my shirt up, when we're kicking because I kicks make me scared to death. I hate watching them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I just don't want. I can't. I can always picture bad things when we kick. Anyway, saying all that to say, um, I've just seen so many things that have made me believe this year because we've killed and slayed some dragons that have been hanging around the franchise for years. We've won games despite all the injuries that we've had. Losing AVT and Corey Davis and Brees Hall, two of those three, you know what I mean, out for the year. I mean, some franchises give up after that because it's two of their best players. All these offensive linemen, all those things. I just and seeing the way those players play and not just play, but the camaraderie on a team. We survived a internal conflict that came out of nowhere from Elijah Moore. We were able to usurp that and keep on playing like nothing happened. Prior locker rooms would not have handled it like that. They would have either traded the kid away, right? Or we would have had like a horrible loss right after that. We were able to still win despite him, and I think we're going to be able to win with him as the season goes on. I like what I've seen from Salah. I know I said this on the Jet show last week, but I love Salah. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's shining right now because he's always been good in front of the mic, always been good in front of the mic, but now what he's saying on the mic is matching the play on the field.
Yeah, it's
You
about
can see,
time.
yeah, true, it's true, and you're seeing him get more pumped up on the sidelines. There were times last year where he wasn't even pumped up on the sidelines. He was very stoic in his face, and it was weird. Because I watched him when he was the 49ers coordinator, too. He was there for a few years. I was a hype dude. He was always jumping up and down and, flexing on cats and all that. And he comes to the Jets last year, and he stopped all of that. And I'm like, what's wrong with him? Until we won a couple of games. He did it in those games. But it looks like he had kind of lost some of his fire. Fast forward to this year, the fire's back. The fire is there. He stuck his neck out in front of the fan base, the media. I think it was more media driven, though, that whole receipts thing. But some fans took it personal because I think they wanted to take it personal. That's how I see it, but that's neither here nor there. I think it was all media. That's why Greenberg got so butthurt about it because he knew he was talking about him. Yes, Mike Greenberg, we're talking about you. We got
Dude,
receipts for
he
you.
oh my god,
Chicken Little.
he's like a big Jets fan too,
Yeah.
but he kind of takes it to a whole new level. It's ridiculous. That's why I like listening to Rich Eisen.
Hmm. He's much better. Greenberg is on some woe is me stuff, and he does it all the time. The self deprecating Jets humor is
Woe is me.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
He is. He's Chicken Little. Like, I can't. I'm glad to see Happy Greenberg now, but I'm not going out of my way to go find him. I don't want to see his content. But anyway, I didn't mean to get stuck there. My point is, Salah was able to do that. He took those hits because the media, like the NFL Network, they were slaying and disparaging Salah for saying all this receipt stuff. Kyle Brandt, who I kind of like, he said some stuff like
Yes.
receipts. We haven't seen you win games. Salah said, okay. And what did the team do? Ulbrich had several Jets fans. Even I was a little concerned last year. I did not like what I was seeing from Ulbrich, so I'm with y'all on all that. This year, it looked
Amen.
started
Yeah.
off pretty rough. The first three games, I was concerned for sure. That Bengals game really bothered me. It was just the disgusting tight ends, the disgusting touchdowns that happened where dude was wide open and catching that. That just can't happen. Can't. Anyway, and it was communication issues. They got it resolved. Ulbricht's calling good defenses now. Boyer, special teams has been on fire. Even though there's been a couple games here and there where they haven't been as good, but they rebound every time. So I'm fine with that. I need them to play well next week, but that's neither here nor there. Um, Offense, kind of the same. They've been hit or miss, maybe mostly miss, but they've had those drives that we need. They've had the important drives, especially in the fourth quarter. There's a reason why we're the best fourth quarter team in the NFL. Our offense is running the ball down people's throats. Jets played the Bills last week. Jets had all these safeties hurt, all the secondary hurt, all that was going on. Everyone else would have threw the ball. LaFleur said, "Nah, we gonna run the ball down their throat because they still can't do anything with that." And we did, and we won the game. That last drive, I think every single call was a run call, except for the pass to Denzel Mims. That was it. So for me, to answer your question, and I think I took 4 or 5 minutes just to answer it, so I apologize. They've
Yeah,
convinced
you
me.
did. That's fine. I ramble too.
That's what
Don't
I
worry
do. I
about it.
speak. I speaks on this show.
Yeah, T speaks, baby. I'm gonna reward myself for giving you that. Like that's on me. I gave you that nickname.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. But yeah, so to me, yeah, the coaching staff has won me over in many different ways, but mostly the players have won me over. The team, it's a different energy about this team, and I think we can have a playoff run. I need to see more before I say how far of a run, but I think we can at least win one game. I got one game minimum over here, and then we'll
I'm
see what
with you.
happens after that.
Let's do it. Let's go
What about
strong.
you?
For what exactly?
But well, so what do you have? Has the Jets coaching staff won you over? And do you believe in this team?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is it. I've been saying this for 2 years. This is different. This is so different. This is so different to where people are calling me crazy. And it's like no, we will get there. Like there's no doubt in my mind that we are going to get there. We're going to shock the world. We're going to do everything in our power to do it. Like it's if the fans need to get it together. Like they just need to get it together. Like some of them just need to hop on board and just enjoy it. I understand the Zach Wilson thing. I have my reservations about him too, but we have a good team. These guys have learned from each other and they're balling out with each other. Joe Douglas, sign him to a 10-year extension. Give the
Hell
guy
yes.
anything he wants. Just he can have my house and it's not even my house. So it's and like he can even have my wife's car. Like, whatever you want. Like you have put faith in the Jets more than ever, honestly. So I understand Zach Wilson. I understand that. I really do. But give him till at least the end of the year. You know,
That's it.
give him the end of the year, then make all of a judgment you want. I agree with that because a lot of these quarterbacks are always the third year is when they step up. I mean, you can look at the Manning brothers, you can look at Allen, you can look at Breeze, Tom Brady played good his second year, and Mahomes played good his second year. So a lot of these guys, it just takes time. Cousins, shoot, they gave Cousins a few years and then he balled out. Like it's just even Robert Griffin the third. He played good his first year, but man, he kicked butt his second year. So it, these guys need time, and I strongly believe that just needs time. But yeah, yes, yes for to get the product out there in the beginning. I think they lost the Jets fans, but to get the product out there in the beginning, I understand. But
Yeah,
now, oh man, I'm all for it.
absolutely. I know that first,
First
I
few
think it was
games,
two.
holy
Yeah,
crap, it just was deja vu for me.
because I think we home game was the Ravens game.
Yeah,
Bengals game was a home game as well.
yeah.
So that's what really knocked it out because both games we weren't really in it. And so I Jets fans that were at those games, I get the concern.
I was
But
too. I
now,
was a home
yeah.
opener.
Oh, you were there. Yeah. So I mean, that was I totally get anyone having feeling some type of way in that game. Zach didn't play in either of those, but I'll leave that alone. I'll leave that alone. Uh, but it's a
Yeah, you're
different
good.
team. It's a different vibe. Things are good. We here with the positive. Jets are on the bye week. We 6-3, number 2 in the division, and we have a chance after this week to be playing for first in the division. Hell yes. There is no better time to jump on, Jets fans. You can go ahead and jump on the bandwagon. Those of y'all that was scared, we'll accept a few more of you. Not all of you guys, just some of you guys.
There is
Um,
not a bandwagon Jets fan out there. If there is, I would be like, wow. Okay, it's a new one.
I think there were Jets fans that were just scared to go all in. So I guess that's
I
just
get
a
that.
better way
No,
to
I
phrase
get that
it.
though.
But yeah, I think we're gonna end it here, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Even those of you that are gonna watch post live video, that's totally fine with me. I know it's late, but I had to get a video out today, and scheduling is important for everybody. Again, it's been a great show. It's been a great week. Um, Again, just thanks for being here. And thank you so much, ItalyJet, for joining me for today's show.
Always a pleasure. T Speaks. Keep doing what you're doing and expect more collabs in the future, guys. It's been great.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. All right. Got to sign off with a Jets chant real quick. I won't be loud this time because my throat bothering me. So Jets,
ETS
Jets,
Jets
Jets,
Jets
Jets.
Jets.